We continue now with the True Story of Fatima, and it's with great joy that I'm able to read for you the account of October the 13th. We continue with the words of T. Marto, the father of Jacinta and Francisco. After many struggles and interruptions, we came at last to the Cova de Iria. The crowds were so thick that it was difficult to pierce through them. It was then that a chauffeur took my Jacinta in his arms and, pushing along, opened a way to the posts with the lanterns, continually shouting, "Make way for the children who have seen Our Lady." I followed them closely, but Jacinta, seeing me pressed among the people, feared for me. "Don't push, my father," she broke out. "Don't push, my father." The man set Jacinta on the ground near the homok, but the crush there was so great that the child began to cry. Francisco and Lucia placed her between themselves. My Olympia was on the other side, I don't know where, but my comadre Maria Rosa dos Santos was close by the children. I was a little distance away and suddenly became aware of a fiendish-looking man bearing down on my shoulder with his staff. "The trouble begins," I said to myself. The multitude swayed back and forth until the moment came when everyone stood still and quiet. The time had come for the apparitions. It was noon by the sun. There was a priest close by, Senora de Capellina tells, who had spent the night near the homok, and he was saying his breviary. When the children arrived, dressed as if for First Communion, he asked them about the time of the apparition. "At noon," Lucia responded. The priest took out his watch and said, "Look, it is already noon." "Our Lady never lies," said Lucia. "Let us wait." A few minutes went by. He looked at his watch again. "Noon is gone. Everyone out of here. The whole thing is an illusion." Lucia did not want to leave, so the priest began pushing the three children away. Lucia, almost in tears, said, "Whoever wants to go may go away. I'm not going. I'm on my own property. Our Lady said she was coming. She always came before, and so she must be coming again." Just then she glanced towards the east and said to Jacinta, "Jacinta, kneel down. Our Lady is coming. I've seen the flash." The priest was silenced. I never saw him again. The hour of the apparition had arrived. The miracle that was promised had begun to take place. "Silence! Silence! Our Lady is coming!" Lucia cried out as she saw the flash. Our Lady came. Her snow-white feet rested upon the beautiful flowers and ribbons with which Senora da Capellina had adorned the tree. The faces of the three children assumed an unworldly expression, their features becoming more delicate, their color mellow, their eyes intent upon the Lady. They did not hear Lucia's mother warning her to look closely so as not to be deceived. Lucia inquired of the Queen of Heaven, "What does your grace want of me?" "I want a chapel to be built here in my honor. I am Our Lady of the Rosary. Continue to say the Rosary every day. The war will end soon, and the soldiers will return to their homes. I have many things to ask of you," says Lucia, "to heal some sick people and to convert some sinners. Some yes, others no. People must amend their lives and ask pardon for their sins." Then, growing sadder, Our Lady continues, "They must not offend our Lord any more, for he is already too much offended." "Do you want anything more?" says Lucia. "Nothing more," replies Our Lady. "Then neither will I ask anything more of you." As Our Lady took leave of the children, she opened her hands, which emitted a flood of light. While she was rising, she pointed towards the sun, and the light gleaming from her hands brightened the sun itself. "There she goes! There she goes!" shouted Lucia, without for a moment taking her eyes from the beautiful Queen of Heaven. Lucia did not afterwards remember having said these words, though Francisco and Jacinta and many others distinctly heard her. "I was not even aware of the presence of the people," says Lucia. "My purpose was not to call the attention of the people to it. I did it, carried away by an interior movement which impelled me to it." The echo of Lucia's shout came back in a huge, immense cry of wonder and astonishment from the multitude. It was at this precise moment that the clouds were quickly dispersed and the sky was clear. The sun was now pale as the moon. To the left of the sun, Saint Joseph appeared, holding in his left arm the child Jesus. Saint Joseph emerged from the bright clouds only to his chest, sufficient to allow him to raise his right hand and make, together with the child Jesus, the sign of the cross 3 times over the world. As St. Joseph did this, Our Lady stood in all her brilliancy to the right of the sun, dressed in the blue and white robes of Our Lady of the Rosary. Meanwhile, Francisco and Jacinta were bathed in the marvelous colors and signs of the sun, and Lucia was privileged to gaze upon our Lord dressed in red as the divine Redeemer, blessing the world, as Our Lady had foretold. Like St. Joseph, he was seen only from his chest up. Beside him stood Our Lady, dressed now in the purple robes of Our Lady of Sorrows, but without the sword. Finally, the Blessed Virgin appeared again to Lucia in all her ethereal brightness, clothed in the simple brown robes of Mount Carmel. As the children stared enraptured by these beautiful heavenly visions, the countless thousands of people were amazed and overpowered by other miracles in the skies. The sun had taken on an extraordinary color. We could look at the sun with ease, T. Marto testified. It did not bother at all. It seemed to be continually fading and glowing in one fashion, then another. It threw shafts of light one way and another, painting everything in different colors, the people, the trees, the earth, even the air. But the greatest proof of the miracle was the fact that the sun did not bother the eyes. A man like T. Marto, who spent all of his days in the open fields with his flocks and tended his garden under the hot sun of the Portuguese hills, marveled at this fact. Everybody stood still and quiet, gazing at the sun, he went on. At a certain point, the sun stopped its play of light and then started dancing. It stopped once more and again started dancing until it seemed to loosen itself from the skies and fall upon the people. It was a moment of terrible suspense. Maria da Capellina gave the author her impressions of this tremendous miracle. The sun cast different colors, yellow, blue, and white. It trembled constantly. It looked like a revolving ball of fire falling upon the people. As the sun hurled itself towards the earth in a mighty zigzag motion, the multitude cried out in terror, "Ay Jesus, we are all going to die here. Ay Jesus, we are all going to die here." Some begged for mercy. Our Lady, save us. Many others made acts of contrition. One lady was even confessing her sins aloud. At last the sun swerved back to its orbit and rested in the sky. Everyone gave a sigh of relief. We were still alive, and the miracle promised by the children had come to pass. Our Lord, already so much offended by the sins of mankind, and particularly by the mistreatment of the children by the officials of the country, could easily have destroyed the world on that eventful day. However, our Lord did not come to destroy, but to save. He saved the world that day through the blessing of good St. Joseph and the love of the Immaculate Heart of Mary for her children on earth. Jacinta later declared that our Lord would have stopped the great world war then raging and given peace to the world through St. Joseph if the children had not been arrested and taken to Urem. "What you do to these least of my brethren," warns our Lord, "you do to me."